Welcome back to the Shut Up and Work podcast. I am your host, the coach, along with my co-host, Lady J. And there you go. And now we're going to kind of go into part two. I know part one, we kind of talked about when it's that time to get the hell out of that current job. Now we're going to go to, now that you got that feeling, you say, hey, I got to get the hell out of here. The number one key thing you have to do, especially if that new job, if you were looking for, has already called you in for an interview, you nailed it, they want to hire you, or on the other hand, whatever your side hustle, your side business is taking off now, you're making good money, you're making money that's about equal with the job, what it's paying you. Now, we're basically talking about stepping out of that box and having to lay low at that current job until you're ready to fully take both feet out of the box and go. So, Lady G, what was your experience? You got this other job. They already say, hey, we got you. We're going to call you back for your start date. So you know you got the job, but you still at the current one. And how did you approach that? Because you know, nosy ass people, they be smelling.
Yes, boy, I tell you,
like, you got a new job.
Look, okay, and I have people like the way our office was set up. It was like, imagine like this long desk and this computers along the way. So everybody's sitting right next to each other. There's no like cubicles, nothing like that. So they can see what's on your computer. And you have people looking over. I'm like, what is you looking at? They're looking like, oh, you got it. No, mind your business, Becky. But I had nosy coworkers. Like, man, like you got to be careful what you got on your computer because they looking over or just glancing. Or if you talk to somebody that you cool with, they could be eavesdropping. So I've learned just to keep it hush hush, especially until I tell the boss, because boss don't know, but the people there know. They go back to tell him it could be a whole chaotic situation. So I've learned to keep my mouth shut, until everything, offer letter signed, everything. I got a start date. Then I let the boss know, and then everybody else find out when they find out. Some people don't find out. Some people find out on my last day that I'm leaving. But I learned to keep my mouth shut, and just keep it on hush hush because everybody is not going to be happy for you. They're looking for jobs too, and they mad that you found a job before them. So. They're not the happiest for you because they still looking at and they looking like, well, dang, she got a job. Why I can't get a job yet? So I've learned to keep it on the hush, especially don't post it on social media. Please don't until it's official and then you've left the new job. I mean, that's the old job, but keep it on hush hush. I wouldn't even tell look, I ain't telling nobody. only key people. But most people, y'all find out when I update my LinkedIn profile or something. Y'all not look. I don't need no bad energy. Y'all find out when y'all find out. So yeah.
And so to back it up just a little bit, let's say you were in the process of starting to look. I left that part out. If you were starting to look, do you keep it on the hush hush? Or are you one of these types that be like, man, I got to get up out of here. Shit, I'm going to be on LinkedIn or whatever tonight. Go ahead.
Now, that's the inner feeling like, okay, I got to get the hell. I got to go. But I'm not like, I'm not too vocal about it. I may tell like a friend that I literally like, we on the same page. I trust that person. But I'm not going around like, dang, y'all, this job sucks. Complaining, blah blah blah. I'm gonna keep it on the hush, even when I'm looking for a job. I'm not even gonna be. I try not to do it at the job. Wait till I get home and look for a job because again, people are nosy.
Right.
They peep game. They're like, oh, such and such is looking for a new job, and it just becomes a gossip thing where people are gossiping. Such and such is looking for a job. She trying to leave. She's trying to get out of here, and then it just becomes a whole situation where it becomes something a lot worse for that person because maybe it gets back to the supervisor, the manager, or whoever, and they're like, "Oh, you trying to leave?" So they trying to dump stuff on you. You never know. You just never know. So you got to be careful of that as well. Do your due diligence. But I would keep it on the hush hush because hey, you ain't got the job yet. You ain't got the interview yet. So just keep it. I know the inner feeling like, damn, like I'm ready to get out of here. Like I can't stand the boss. I can't stand Susie getting on my nerves. She always asking for help.
Right.
I if you need a breather, just leave the office, go take a break, go for a walk. But I wouldn't just make it known that I dread this job because it just comes and turns into something else. So no.
Yeah, and so in my situation, what I experienced, two stories. Kind of going back to that story that I was telling you that time when the Army, I was working for the Department of the Army, regular Army, and I was a project manager, and that supervisor for the Army Corps of Engineers that was going to hire me, when he had walked by my cubicle and told me, "Oh, you're Don Glenn. I'm picking you up for this position." And I was like, "What the hell? Who the hell are you?" And all that. Well, anyway, when I got through all that and all that negotiating, I told you that story in the last episode, a previous episode before, my salary. And when I decided to take the job, the next thing I was going to do, kind of what you were alluding to, was going to my current supervisor and telling him, like, "Hey, I found another job, I'm going to be taking leave, and, and after this, I'm going to be gone, come back and I'll be gone." And I remember that day, I knocked at his office door and I said, "Hey, can I speak to you for a moment?" And he was kind of like, "Well, I'm busy right now," kind of had an attitude and everything. So I was just smiling like the Joker. I was damn near ear to ear smiling. And he was kind of like looking at me like, "Damn, what the hell's wrong with his ass?" Today. And I said, "Oh, I promise this won't take but a quick minute." "Well, you got to be fast." That, he was kind of like that, like in the pushy, kind of had an attitude type of thing. And so I said, "Oh, I just wanted to tell you I got another job." And then all of a sudden he stopped, he paused, and he was like, "What? Well, come on in and have a seat." And I was like, "Well, I thought you were busy. I was just letting you know, had another job. I could email you what I'm going to do, when I'm going to leave." "Oh, no. Come on in. So I'm thinking, hey, he finna negotiate. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Try to make me an offer to keep me there. Hell no. He talking about who you get the job with and da. And I told him, I said, "Hey, I'll still be by, but I'm going over to the Army Corps of Engineers and I'm going to be working as a construction inspector." And he's like, "Oh, wow." Like a 5-year-old kid. And I'm like, okay. And now I would say our attitudes both did a 180. He went from, "Hey, I'm in a hurry, get out of my damn office." And now I went from wanting to talk. Now I'm wanting to get the hell out of his office. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "You hurry up now. You taking up my time. Shit, I got stuff I want to do, damn it." You ain't talking about putting no more money on the table. So, hey, shit, I could just email you any questions you got. All I need to tell you is, hey, this gonna be my last day, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So, to your point, yeah, when I announced that I had that job, I was quiet about it. And then when everything was said and done and I had the job, I told the supervisor first, then I told my coworkers, to the employees, because I know everything had been stamped, signed, and delivered. You know what I mean? And if I would have blabbed out, no offense, at that time, I was working, there was maybe about three of us guys, 2 other guys, and about 4 or 5 women. So I would have known the women, they would have took the ball. They would have blabbed to the whole damn everybody. That's why I was like, I ain't saying shit, And go ahead.
You gotta be careful of that, because like you said, like, it's funny because he did a whole 180, because like, okay, either you excited and you want to offer me more money. I mean, I don't know too many people that's excited about their employees leaving, but especially when they're short staffed, And
well, yeah, And that's what it was. It was like, he was like, oh man, I hate to lose you. But at the same time, I'm like, shit, you ain't trying to kick me. So shit, I don't hear nothing. I don't hear nothing like, hey, how much they paying you? Let me see if I can go and get you a little bit more. Would you be willing to compromise and stay? I ain't hearing the damn thing, you know.
Thanks for watching. And also, if you are having trouble or are currently working in a toxic workplace, then look no further than my book. It's available on Amazon, called Shut Up and Work, Surviving Then Escaping the Workplace. Other than that, have a great day. Take care. Peace.